What I wanted to say was I'm becoming atheist, or at least agnostic, and I admit I don't have sufficient evidence for belief in any God, and this is all relatively recent. I acknowledge that holding on to the theistic belief is irrational, and I've justified holding on to it by saying there needs to be a place in our lives for the irrational. But I'm actually moving away even from that view, because I realize if I allow irrationality in my own life, what argument do I have against a radical Islamist who wishes to allow his brand of irrationalism in his life? I don't have any leg to stand on.
Sure.
So, but I still find it's hard to completely reject theism. I admit that experiences I had in the past, I attributed to some supernatural being, really have no justification, and it was really just trying to fit a pattern of coincidences into a coherent story, but there's no real evidence or justification for that. So my question is, it's really tough to let go of deeply ingrained beliefs. Like Matt, I was brought up in a fundamentalist, in formative years, I should say, grew up in fundamentalist Bible church and Bible Belt religion, and it's hard to, I know I've long since let that go, but it's hard to sort of let go all of any kind of theism. Even after you see it's not rational, I find myself still having a hard time. How do you deal with that?
Okay.
That's my question.
So the first thing, a little clarification of terms here, because agnostic and theist or atheist are not mutually exclusive terms. And agnosticism is not the middle ground between theism and atheism. So agnosticism is, or Gnosticism is about what you claim to know or is even possible to know. So
yeah.
Do you claim to know that there is or is not a God?
No.
Okay, so you're already agnostic. So
okay.
Now, theism and atheism is about what you believe. Okay, so do you believe that a God exists?
I don't have sufficient evidence for that.
Okay.
No.
So you're already an atheist. So,
okay, I guess so. It just doesn't feel very comfortable.
Right.
I think maybe what feels uncomfortable is that you want to be certain of things,
right,
but there's not a test.
Yeah.
There's not a, yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay. I mean, yeah, there's, for most of us, when we kind of, at least most of the people I've talked to, there was like no, big epiphany where one day people said, oh, I'm an atheist. It was sort of a gradual falling away when you sort of test the beliefs periodically and realize that they're not justified and they just fall away. And there may be one day when you kind of realize that you crossed over, that little bridge a long time ago, but there was no awareness at the time that, oh, hey, I am formally crossing over to atheism now. It just kind of it's kind of a gradual evolution.
Yes, it has been gradual. I mean, I still, for example, pray, but someone asks me, well, why do you pray? And I just do it reflexively. I don't.
Right.
It's not that I'm praying because I desire to pray or because I believe there's some being doing anything out there responding to the prayer. It's just I might be in the car and I'll just say, oh, Lord have mercy. And I realize that
some atheists very seriously promote the value of meditation.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them, but it doesn't bother me that atheists do. And I think that if you pray, but you also know that it's just something to make you feel good, it's okay to feel good. I don't pray. I don't because I don't feel like I'd get anything out of it. But I'm not gonna be the atheist police and tell you have to stop praying right now, or you're not a real atheist and you're not rational.
So I'm gonna recommend a book for you, because you made a comment earlier about what place does irrationality have in our lives?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a book. The title of it is Predictably Irrational. It was written by a guy named Dan Ariely. And
Can you spell that?
yeah, Dan, D-A-N-A-R-I-E-L-Y. So Dan Ariely,
Okay.
Predictably Irrational. It's on Amazon and lots of other booksellers. But basically it talks about how irrational thoughts, irrational decision-making processes, basically irrationality does have a place. And so that might make you feel a little bit better about this kind of, irrational thought process.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't know anyone had come up with the explanation for that, or that irrationality has some sort of place. I mean, yeah, well, thanks.
And so, I mean...
Well, that's all I had. Thanks.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What I'm hearing from you, though, is that it sounds like you're struggling with the remnants of indoctrination, and we talk about that a lot on the show. But it's very insidious, and once you've been indoctrinated, it is actually work getting rid of that. So, you're kind of on your way there.
It is work, and like I said, I've been watching your show for years, and I just turned my wife onto the show.
Oh, good.
She's a little bit more theistic than I am, but she's kind of gotten into Hinduism and some other things. But she's been watching the show, and to me, it's hilarious. A lot of the callers, I just find it entertaining. So we just started off watching it for entertainment, and I said, "Hey, honey, listen, watch this show," and she watches it. But the other night, I was saying. She asked me, I didn't realize you were still questioning what you believe about God. Are you still questioning that? And she asked me in this way that was kind of like, this could turn into an argument if I don't answer this question properly, or I could, so I need to divert or disarm this. And so, yeah, even though she's all for it because she likes watching it because of the logic, and she learns about all of the logical fallacies and that's a really big benefit of your show. Is it teaches people how to think, and I've learned a lot from listening to the way you guys slice and dice logical fallacies and law of excluded middle and onus of proof and all that good stuff.
I mean, I sure hope so, because I feel like, I know we all come on the show for different reasons. We're all volunteers who have been with it for a while. For me personally, it's not so important for me to make people become atheist, but to encourage people to think and be skeptical. And if I can improve people's outlook and make them just a little less gullible each time, then I feel like I'm doing my job.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to check out that book for sure.
Okay.
And thanks so much for having me on the show. I love your show.
All right.
Have
Thanks.
a good one.
Bye.
Thanks.